Hi everyone, my name is Brian McNichols and I work for touringplans.com. I would like to remind you to check out all of the other videos that we do. I do other ones that involve me pointing at a map. Angela does weekly videos, I do weekly top 5 videos, weekly news. So if this is your first time checking out our YouTube page, look around, maybe even subscribe, share some stuff, that'd be great. What this video in particular is because Magic Kingdom security procedures are changing. Now, caveat here, I am filming this a little bit in advance of when the announcement comes. We were tipped off by a source of ours that this was about to happen. Hopefully everything I'm about to say ends up being pretty close. If not, I'll be putting some titles in to correct myself for small things. If it's big things, you'll never see this. So if you're watching it, it's all pretty close. So let's start with what the current process is. Now up here you can see the Magic Kingdom. Right here, these little blue things are the bag check. All of this red is the walking area, walking paths. Ferries come in down here, buses, all 3 bus terminals, monorail station right there. So right now what happens is everybody comes in, all gathers right here, right in front of this bag check. You get a big mass of people. On busy days, it will go back up into the monorail station. It will snake down these paths toward the boats and the buses. It ends up being a lot of people in one spot. None of these people have been through security yet. If something were to happen, it could be catastrophic and obviously something that Disney wants to avoid. That is why they're changing the procedure. Plus, from a guest standpoint, who wants to be standing in a large mass of people before you get into the park? I know I don't exactly walk in with an air of magic if I just stood in a security line for 45 minutes. So now let's take it step by step and show you how the new security procedures are going to work. And it's going to depend on how you get to the Magic Kingdom. We'll start with the buses, because that's how most people get there, and it's the one that's changing the least. So basically, instead of getting all the way up here to where the bag check is now, there will be another bag check back here, back on these paths, so that it is only for those coming by bus. And there's going to be another one up here for the walking path to the Contemporary, but that doesn't get that busy anyway. The bus one will probably still be the busiest, but the good thing is that buses don't arrive and all at the same time usually. Think about it. What's the most buses you've seen arrive at any one time? For me, it's probably 3 or 4. I mean, even if those buses are full to capacity, I don't know how many the buses hold. Generally, the buses arrive at slightly staggered times. They're not generally full to the brim when they get there. Some are, of course. So this is going to be the one that is most like the current procedure. Now, we think that might be changing in the future too, but I'll talk about that more when we get to the real speculation stuff at the end. This is all stuff that we know. All right, so now Transportation and Ticket Center. And I'm sorry about these pictures. I know they're not great. It's really just to give you some illustration of what I'm talking about. This is the Transportation and Ticket Center. The yellow here are all the walkways. The pinkish red is the actual monorail station. The larger one are the ones that go to the Magic Kingdom. This little one is Epcot. The trams for the parking come in right here. Here's all the ticket booths. This up here is where you get on the ferries. There's 2 different ways they could do it. I'm going to go over both because as I'm recording this, we don't know exactly which one they're going to use. My suspicion is that they'll end up putting one right across, and it's right across on the fold of my paper here, unfortunately. Right across here. That would work as security for both the ferry and the Magic Kingdom monorail. It's possible in time, and again, I'll get to this in the speculation, that they'll include the Epcot monorail on there, but from what we know, they're not doing that quite yet. What's going to happen is when a tram comes from the parking lot, there's going to be a lot of people going through security again, just like the buses. And having groups at security is just something that they can't really avoid. Now, what if you're coming from a resort? Monorail stops at all the different resorts. The boats come from the resorts, like this one is the Polynesian right here. Each resort on the monorail loop and with the boats are going to have their own security. Again, this may seem like it'll be intrusive, it'll be a pain. I don't really think it will be. This down here is the contemporary monorail. You could easily imagine just one or two security people right there, right before you get on the monorail. Same with the Polynesian, and this is the worst picture, I know. I'm sorry, I actually had to pull that from a video because I didn't have any pictures of the lead up to the monorail. And Grand Floridian looks kind of like this too. They could easily just put security right inside the doors here. I know these are the exit doors, but I don't have the entrance doors. They look the same. They could easily just put security right here, no problem. You don't even have to wait outside. The boats, look how long these docks are. This is the Grand Floridian dock. This is the Polynesian dock. Security will just go right on there. One or two people is all you need. And so few people all go to the monorail at the same time. Now, yes, can be a lot of people waiting for the monorail, but most likely they didn't arrive at the same time. Now, where this will impact, unfortunately, is say you're coming up this escalator at the Contemporary right here, and you see a monorail pulling in. No more just running and jumping on that monorail. Now, with having to go through security, you're almost definitely going to miss that one. Same with the boats, anything else. You're probably going to see a boat leave while you're standing there, which is definitely annoying. It'll be nice sitting on that boat going across Seven Seas Lagoon and knowing that when you get up here, you can just walk straight into the park. Assuming this works out well, we could see them doing this for all resorts. Epcot is actually laid out pretty perfectly for it. And since they'll already have security at the TTC, the monorail is pretty much already covered. So then you're just talking about buses and parking. One of the other things we think may happen is that you may actually go through security before you get on the bus eventually. I can't quite work out how the logistics of that would work because you basically have to pen in the bus stations at any given resort so that people can't walk in from other directions. I don't think it would be super hard to do, but that one definitely seems a little trickier, which is probably why they're not doing it now. But once you have the bus stations set up for security, then you basically have all four parks covered because then you only have to deal with parking. We think that will eventually happen, assuming this works out okay. And frankly, I'm for all of this. I know there are definitely instances where it's going to be annoying. Little background on me: I used to work for the U.S. federal government. Can't say too much about it, unfortunately, but I did actually have a security clearance, which is probably scaring you a lot right now. This made me so nervous when you'd go up and there would just be tons and tons of people standing there. That is not a good security measure. So this is miles and miles better, and it will hopefully keep everybody safe so they can enjoy the Magic Kingdom and all parks pretty soon. That's going to be it. If you're watching this, it means not much of this has changed. Hopefully I didn't have to correct myself using titles and graphics too much in here. Thanks for watching. Be excellent to each other.